Long time no see, everybody. I am back. I have been gone for a minute, and me having to work on these levels and getting all this stuff right again. If you, s- I know anybody out there that was on YouTube or recording and then stopped for a long period of time and came back after they had all their stuff like put up and everything from moving around, probably is just it's a pain in the ass to get everything back to where you need it to go. But we're gonna get into it. Dre OG, I've been following for a while, way before he got anywhere close to hitting 1 million subs. Big ups to that brother. So we're gonna get into this video, and this was all part of the plan. I'm a little behind on his videos, so we're gonna cycle through all his most recent stuff. All right, let's get it.
Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Look, smash that like button. Let's get this video to like 15,000 likes because you already know. Once again, this is going to be another banger, another amazing video, man. But look, I'm just happy to be here another day to do another dope video with y'all. Look, man, just know if you're going through a tough time, you're not in this life by yourself. Going through this thing called life together. You know what I'm saying? But look, buckle up, man. Watch this video all the way to the end so you can get the full thought process and let me know how y'all feel in the comments down below about each section that we cover here today. This is another everything bagel, but at the same time, man, you know them shits be hitting. For real, for real. But look, man,
My daughter
hopefully y'all
gave
been
mine
having
the
an
other
amazing
day.
day. Let's
Matter
get
of fact,
into
that
this
was
video
today.
without further ado.
I learned the hard way personally that there are actually infinite timelines and multiple quantum versions of you because I died in a car accident when I was 17. Let's talk about it. So, I have never told this story publicly. When I was 17, I didn't have an understanding of quantum mechanics at all. So for the last 20 years, I have thought I was crazy. It is part of the reason I have done such deep and extensive spiritual seeking and rabbit holing over many years because I was really trying to understand what happened to me and know that I'm not crazy. And guess what? I'm not. And now that I know that, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. Here is what happened. And I was on my way to church for a youth group meeting. Could you believe that? I know. So I was in the front passenger side. One of my friends was driving. There was another girl in the back seat behind the driver. We are going through a green light in front of a fire station. We're going through the green light at about 30. A stolen car runs the red light, 50 miles an hour, slams directly into my door. The car turns, he keeps going. It's a hit and run. Now, here's where this gets interesting. Impact happens.
That's crazy because I also experienced the same thing, but I got hit by a semi truck going 55 miles an hour that T-boned my side of the car that I ate an 18 wheeler, and then he drove off. So, yeah, sister, I understand.
Of course, my door is crushed. My window breaks and all falls in. And I remember when the car stopped moving, and I will never forget this, it gives me the chills. I remember everything went black, and not the kind of black like when you close your eyes, the absence of anything. I couldn't even call it darkness because that would imply that there was some kind of other light. There was nothing. When I'm talking about nothing existed, nothing except for the sound of my voice through a thought that said, "Oh my God, I'm dead." And that's actually the tone in which my voice sounded to me, like unbothered, not fearful, not sad, just a, "Oh shoot, okay, that was deep." When I'm talking about smooth. And within 2 minutes of me being in the void, I came back to the car, but with my eyes closed. And that's what's interesting is I instantly knew I was back in my body, and the darkness I was seeing was my eyes closed because I could hear traffic, I could hear people yelling, I could hear EMTs trying to open my door. Here's where it gets even crazier, okay? As I came back into my body, I remember noticing that, and my eyes were still closed. And my first thought was, "Oh, shoot, I'm not dead." Okay, then my glasses must be broken into my eyes because I wear glasses, right? I open my eyes, the glasses aren't broken. And I'm like, how the hell is that possible? Before I could even complete that thought, EMTs are snatching my door open and screaming at me, "Don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move." They immediately put a neck brace on me in the car and lift me out of the car. I did not even walk away from that car accident. Here's where things get quantum and weird. I remember that. Except I also have a very clear memory of walking away from that car accident and calling my mom and saying, "Mom, I was in a car accident, but don't worry, I'm fine. Meet me at St. Anthony's Hospital," which is in St. Petersburg, Florida.
I'm not even gonna lie. I really thought she was gonna go through a final destination moment and say that she dreamed it all and it came back. She had a premonition of it. Her actually going through that shit's wild.
My mom met me at that hospital. But like I said, I was actually taken away in a stretcher, and there is no way I could have called my mother. So how the hell did she know to be at that hospital? Want to hear where it gets freakier? It gets even freakier. I was on that stretcher in the ER for an hour and a half, strapped to a stretcher with a neck brace on, which was highly uncomfortable, by the way. When they finally got me off of it to like put me now on a different, what do you call those things? Gurney, whatever, the bed to roll me to get MRIs. The room right next to mine is my grandfather. We had no idea he was there. He had just had a heart attack. My grandfather had dementia. Didn't remember anybody, including my dad, his own son. None of us. He sat up in that bed, and I will never forget it. He sat up like this. He went, he looked like he had seen a ghost. Mind you, I said he would have no way of even recognizing me. And he just went through a major medical intervention, his darn self. Long story short, they rolled me to get MRIs. They released me from the hospital and tell me I have a chest contusion, but I'm fine. Went back to work 2 days later like nothing happened. But actually, something did happen. Within a week of that, I quit my service club and I quit my dance team. And that is significant because this was the senior year, second semester. So I was on these teams and clubs all the way through high school. And literally the semester that matters most, the very end, I just quit like that. And remember, I told you I was the president of my service club. Quit, didn't care. I changed so much that my mom sent me to therapy. And again, Jamaican mom sent me to therapy at 17, not typical. That therapist told me I was bipolar. I rejected that because I knew I wasn't. I went to a therapist in college a year or two later. She tried to tell me I was bipolar. I knew that was not correct. For 20 years, I have been thinking that I made this up. And I finally asked my mother earlier this year without any leading questions. I said, Ma, what do you actually think happened in that car accident? She goes, oh, you died. I hadn't told her any of this. I hadn't told her my theories, nothing. She was like, because, and the reason I know it is, there's no way you could have called me, but you did. One version of you called me, the other version of you did not. And that's just very simple. And once I learned about the idea that we all have infinite quantum versions that are slightly different based on slightly different circumstances and choices, this is actually why you have deja vu, because you're connecting with another version of you in another timeline, that I'm not crazy. And I did die. And I did go to the void. And I came on back. And now I'm here. And I came back with some extra stuff. But we'll talk about what that is in the next video if you want to hear it. I just had to share this to come out of the spiritual closet because there might be somebody else who this happened to, who was raised in the church, who was told it's demonic, nothing happened to you, you're crazy, you're bipolar. Maybe you even started taking the medication. And I want to tell you, you're not nuts. If you think that happened to you, it did. Because it can, because our souls exist without our body. When I heard my voice go, oh, I'm dead, it was my voice and my thoughts without me. This didn't exist. It was gone. But my consciousness still remained. So that is a thing. So I'm just making this video to let you know you are not crazy. I'm not crazy. This universe, this world is far more layered and interesting than we were told in school. So do what you will with that information. Feel free to ask me many comments and questions. I'll happily answer them. So all my quantum girlies and boys and theys and thems out there, we ain't crazy. We're just tapped into what's really going on down here. So just wanted to share that. And as always, love you.
I fell down a time.
You know what? On that one right there, he really kicked that off far and out there and out and wide, because I totally understand what she's talking about when it's coming to deal with those things. Me, I've been on this path since birth, before I came out the birth canal. So never been a church guy, always been into spirituality, always been tapped in. I hit my microphone. Always been tapped into things that people would consider you crazy for, but turns out I'm not the crazy one. And now people are finally waking up to what's really going on when I've been living it my entire life. So big shout outs to her for that. And it's great to be on this journey because every day is something different. No day is boring. And sometimes you can sync up to many different quantum lives, as she put it, all at once. The deja vu can hit you rapidly for many, many different things. It's pretty dope.
Time traveler rabbit hole last night, and I think everybody missed the most important part. And it's not the time machine. This is Declassified Psychic. A man named John Teeter showed up on the internet in 2000, claiming to be a soldier from the year 2036. And normally I would have kept scrolling because, okay, buddy, sure you are. But something about what he was saying would not let me go. And I think it's because we're sitting here in 2026, currently 10 years out from the year he claimed he was from. And some of these details are getting a little too close for comfort. And I didn't ask for that. Claimed he had a time machine built into a 1967 Corvette, which, yes, I understand is very Back to the Future of him. And he posted actual diagrams, which were very official. Actually, more like, I'm a serious military man and not at all a person who needs to be checked on. But anyway, here's the thing nobody talks about. When you ask him how it actually works, not the machine, the mechanics, he doesn't describe physics. He describes consciousness. He says the observer, the awareness of the person traveling. And that's what determines which timeline you land in. Your consciousness is literally the navigation system. And I had to put my phone down when I read that because that's literally mediumship. That's literally remote viewing. That's the entire CIA Stargate program that we already covered in this series. And I have spent years trying to explain to people that consciousness is not confined by linear time. That awareness can actually move. And that perception is not limited to what's actually in front of you. And this man in 2000 just casually drops that as a footnote to his Corvette story. And everyone was too busy laughing at him to even notice. And I'm a little annoyed about it, to be honest. Now, is he real? I couldn't tell you either way. But I'm not really sure it matters as much as people think it does. Because whether John Teeter was an actual soldier from 2036 or the most committed hoax in internet history doesn't change the fact that whoever wrote this understood consciousness mechanics better than anyone I've ever seen. He could describe them so accurately, it was crazy. Either a time traveler showed up and accurately described my job, or someone who deeply understood quantum consciousness theory decided to write fan fiction about a fucking Corvette. Both of those are actually interesting to me, and neither of them is nothing. And then don't get me started on CERN, because in John Teeter's timeline, the time travel technology was not developed by the military. It was developed by CERN in Switzerland, the same CERN that in our timeline is currently running the largest particle collider ever built, and that people are currently losing their fucking minds over right now. He said CERN cracked gravity distortion, and that's what made physical time travel possible. And I just need to mention that CERN is currently showing up in my TikTok analytics because people are searching it and landing on my page, a Mediums page, which either means the algorithm is having a fucking day or the universe thinks it's funny, and either way, I'm not ruling anything out. He needed the Corvette because without it, his body couldn't travel with his consciousness. And fine, maybe your body needs a Corvette for that. I'm not really sure. I'm not a physicist. But the part doing the actual navigating, the part deciding which timeline you land in, that's just consciousness doing what apparently consciousness has always known how to do. And we have decades of declassified documents to back that up. And this man describes all of it deliberately. Make sure you're following because there's more to come on this topic and it gets so much weirder.
Anytime they start messing with the travel, pay attention. Like, I know I live in Atlanta, and the line last week when I was in that airport was like 2.5 hours or longer because they only had one TSA agent in the checkpoint that we was at. As I'm in this line, I'm telling myself, something coming. Flights getting canceled and delayed, people missing their flight, aka me, but it was my fault. Even some of the systems for the planes are acting weak. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my perspective based off of the patterns, and of course, y'all know the symbolism. Movement is power because when people can move around freely, when they can link up, they can relocate, they can expand, they can shift their environment. So again, when movement gets disrupted, I start looking around like, hold on, what's about to come? With all the war talks, issues with travel, you also have the Schumann resonance that blacked out the other day. Schumann resonance measures the Earth's frequency, or just think about it like the heartbeat of the Earth. Since we live on said Earth, we are affected by it. This is why when the frequency spikes within the Earth, measured by the Schumann resonance, we all feel it. The Schumann resonance is real active. You might feel anxious, you might feel energized, emotional, heightened awareness, intuitive. The spikes happen, it's important and imperative for you to know how to ground your energy. When the Schumann resonance blacked out, that was like the system going silent. The heartbeat goes quiet, something else is recalibrating. Are y'all catching my drift? Again, let's piece this together. Travel disruptions, global tension, people waking up in droves, energy feeling off. I mentioned when I talked about the astrological new year, we are in the 1 year as well as the 10 year. Zero is important because it is the reset point. And that Schumann resonance blacked out that further confirmed the reset point. We have officially crossed into a new timeline. When I tell y'all everything is adjusting. Now let's talk about what could be coming next based off of the patterns and based off of
Guess my question would be: is anybody feeling that? Because yeah, every day does feel different to me. Like um, more in sync, feeling more vibrations. Now, granted, you can actually feel the other timeline fighting with your current timeline. But yeah, no, it's been very odd with everything, and quite hilarious also with some things.
the symbolism. If you've studied history before the major shifts, what have you seen before? More confusion, mixed information, disclosures. People arguing more, different truths everywhere. Nobody knows what to believe. And see, that was all by design, as that confusion is what keeps people distracted. Also, see more system glitches, so technology acting weird, delays increasing, and you notice things are not running as smoothly as they usually do. That's because the systems are also under pressure. They have to rise to the new frequency of Earth. Remember, anything artificial cannot sustain. Anybody not vibrating at the same frequency of the earth cannot sustain. This is also why you see a lot of transcendence, aka what people know as death. Typically, usually always see more restrictions around travel, just like we're seeing right now. Historically, when things escalate globally, the travel is the one that is affected first. It's usually not always permanent, but it's definitely tightened. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. The emotional tensions are also rising. Got a lot of people that's getting triggered. They're very reactive and they on edge. Once again, the frequency shift is not just affecting the planet, it's also affecting the people. On the other hand of that, you have more and more people waking up, questioning everything, moving real differently, pulling away from everything that does not align. And this is the part they can't control. This is the part that they are scared of. This is what they saw when they used Project Looking Glass. Many people creating breakaway civilizations, but this time they can't do like they did with Oklahoma. Can't do like they did with Oscarville. Every single shift creates chaos, but it also creates awareness. We don't move in fear and we don't move in panic. Only awareness. It's about paying attention because when you're paying attention, you move smart. Stay prepared, you trust your intuition, and you're not getting sucked into all them headlines. They're doing exactly what they're meant to do. 'Cause you gotta tell yourself, while everybody is focused on what's being shown, better believe that there's something happening underneath the surface. You don't have to know exactly what is coming to recognize the patterns before it shows up. Notice, I told y'all to pay attention. However, I did not tell you to absorb this energy. Only thing you should be focusing on is self. Is evolving. Is what timeline do you want to create for yourself right now? Get in them comments and let me know your thoughts. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
In this time
Boy, that sister was cooking on that one. It man, yeah, it's definitely that time. Definitely that time.
line, people remember details about the stoplight that doesn't exist. Red has always been on the top, but here's proof of the old timeline that collided with this one.
Oh shit.
Early this morning. I remember it being green on top, y'all. Like, let me know. Dude,
No, he right. I do remember Green being on top. Ain't that about a bitch? Boy, they just be sliding it right in on us, don't they?
if you were born in the 80s, 90s, what was it? Even before then, 70s, 60s, was it green at the top? I remember green at being top. But I remember seeing this clip and then looking outside and seeing red at the top. When the hell did that happen? I pay attention to
Man, I don't know when that happened, but I do remember when Green was at the top though. I definitely remember that. Matter of fact, a good way for you to find out is see if they changed it in old movies. Because there's a lot of much older movies, especially from the 80s and stuff, that show stoplights. So that would definitely be hmm, might be something to look into for real.
everything, bro. Like, when the hell did that happen? What happened? Hey, CERN, bro, they got us skipping timelines and stuff. Like, let me know. This is something that was really, really on my mind. I'm not in fear about it or anything. Skipping timelines, nothing. I'm not afraid of the possibilities of what we live in. This is not about fear. This is not about pushing fear. It's about having a conversation. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you remember it as? I remember it being green at the top.
When you knocked upon my
See, now I got to go back and watch old movies that have scenes that are in a city and see if it's really going to show that it was green at the top and red at the bottom, or what it was going to do. Because dang, I do remember that.
door, early this morning,
In my timeline, green was always on the
when you
top.
knocked upon my door, and I say, hello, Satan, I believe it is time to go.
My next question is why? Why would you change that? Just for somebody to subtly know something, or is it subconsciously supposed to do something to people? Almost like, green is supposed to be a go, which will be at the top, which you would think, it's a go to highly elevate if you wanted to get into it deep like that. Putting red at the top will stop you to let you know that you can't go no higher than where you are. But who knows?
Me and the devil.
That's the thing. Like, I remember it being green, y'all, at the top. But now currently, when you look outside, it's red. It's definitely red right now. And damn, but that I have questions about it. So we're talking about CERN changing timelines for us and stuff like that. And we do have operations in which they were trying to change the timelines. They were trying to see into the future, but they said after 2012 they can no longer see and manipulate the timelines anymore. So did some of us, in conjunction with the first story that we heard, did some of us pass away? Did we have a weird occurrence where something happened to you that could have happened to you massively, but you didn't pass away, or just might have changed the timeline, maybe? I don't know. I'm open to the possibilities because once you dive deeper into science and quantum physics and stuff, as best as possible that you can understand on many different like just try to understand it. Pick up a book, read it. That's all I'm saying. But it's infinite possibilities to what's out there. And that's where my mind's been at lately. And it's amazing. I'm not afraid of it. I embrace it because that's what we live in. That's what we have to deal with. It's interesting to me. Like, some people like to like, oh, oh my gosh. Like, I don't have that type of energy. It's just a curiosity. It's a knowing. I like to be in the knowing. I like to be in the present. Let me know in the comments down below if you're that type of inquisitive person. Most likely you are if you're here on this channel. Like, you love information and you're trying to seek information. I appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. But are we skipping timelines? Do you have, let me know in the comments down below if you had something happen to you in your life where the possibility is you could have skipped the timeline. I know for and I don't know if we got into an accident or not, but I remember me and my best friend, we were driving. This was we were still in high school, had my mom's car, and we was going to see some girls. And we were driving, and I think we lost we went from one side of town to the other. That'll usually take you like 15 minutes to get there. We got there in like a minute. We made one turn and we was on the other side of town. And me and him still to this day, we try to understand what the hell happened. We're missing time. We were missing time. And it still bothers us to this day. Like, what happened? How did we get over here? We made one turn and we was on the other side of town. That's impossible. But let me know in the comments down below if something strange ever happened to you like that. Let's get back.
I ain't gonna lie. I've had a lot of strange things happen to me. Let's see. I've been shot at. I've been in multiple car accidents. I got bit by a brown recluse that should have killed me, or at least made me lose my leg, but it didn't. Um, nah, it's life it is a funny pickle. But I do remember one time getting in my car and cutting it on, and then the next thing you know, I was waking up. I don't I don't know what happened, so I know exactly what he's talking about with that one. These are we really getting into the weeds on this stuff. I do own like a catalog of books over quantum physics because it's very fascinating to me. If y'all are really into these types of things, there's an old show if you haven't seen it yet called Counterpoint. It's I believe it's Counterpoint. It's Counterpoint or Counterpart. It's one or the other, but it used to be a star show, and it was about these about these scientists that were working on stuff with atoms and different things like that. And an explosion happened, and it created both worlds. And the thing that separated the two worlds was just a tunnel that this one gentleman that's like I guess you could say kind of became like a spy. You could walk through and go to the other side, and you would be on both sides, but you would be a different person on the other side. And they had to keep it from the public so that no one would know that there was literally two worlds in one, and the only thing connecting them was a little bridge that was guarded by the military. It's a really, really cool show, but I believe it's called Counterpart.
Back to this video though. Let's go get deeper.
What? Okay.
All right, guys, I'm 44 years old. Never in my life when I grew up did I hear about a upside down smiley face crescent moon. We always learned about a side facing crescent moon. Kids never grew a upside down smiley face for their moon. What is going on here? When did this start happening?
It's no secret now that reptilians walk among us. Just most people don't recognize what they're truly looking.
That is a That dude is killing me right now. He looked like he's supposed to be on at the airport being one of them Harry Krishna guys. But yeah, he don't look like he's from here just looking at him.
Yeah. They actually don't hide at all. They don't need to. The form you see is the form they allow you to see. They project a human version of themselves so that you never question. So everything feels normal, familiar, and acceptable. Reptilians are not only in Hollywood or as the elite, they can appear as the everyday person, the coworker, the friend, even someone you interact with daily. And the way you start to notice isn't by how they look, it's about how they operate, the reactions, the patterns, the way you feel around them. Because at the end of the day, people can control how they present themselves, but it's a lot harder to control what their system reveals. So if something ever feels slightly off, not obvious, but consistent, don't ignore that. That awareness is there for a reason. And once you see them, they can see you.
So a lot of fans are confused with the finale of It Welcome to Derry kind of revealing
Hey, if you ain't seen Welcome to Derry, yep, you need to get on it, okay? Because that show will totally crack your brain. That series was better than the movies, in my personal opinion. Like it tapped into so much esoteric type stuff. It's not even funny. Like, oh my God, I'm about to go back and watch that whole season all over again. It's fantastic.
Pennywise is a time traveler. Let me explain how this works. So using the phrase time traveler isn't exactly correct. At the end of It Welcome to Derry, it's revealed that Pennywise perceives time differently than humans because he's this cosmic god. He's an omniscient being, meaning the past, present, and future are all happening to him simultaneously. That's how Pennywise was able to tell Margaret, the future mother of Richie, Finn Wolfhard's character from the first movie, that her son and her friends would eventually kill him, but also that his death is also his birth. That's why when we see Pennywise die in It Chapter 2, he reverts back to a baby because although he's dying, he's being born again. And if you remember in the beginning of It Welcome to Derry episode 1, Pennywise shows up by being birthed out as a little baby bat, because death and birth are the same thing to him. What does this mean for season 2? Well, season 2 is going to go backwards in time, taking place in 1935, where we will see some characters from It Welcome to Derry season 1 just 27 years younger. Like, one character I know we'll see for sure is Miss Kirsch, probably working in the asylum feeding kids to Pennywise. With Pennywise's knowledge of the future, he could technically kill his daughter Miss Kirsch, even though we see her in season 1 in the future. Pennywise's knowledge allows him to change history if he wants, and that helps raise the stakes because Pennywise could eventually stop his future death from happening. But if I'm being really honest and nitpicky with you, there's a lot of paradoxes and plot holes that happen within that. I think it's just the show's way of saying, just because it takes place in the past and you know what the future is, doesn't mean that's exactly what'll happen.
And think about
I'm sorry. The one thing I have to say about that too is that the way that show and that series is going, how it keeps it keeps rolling back the clock on you is exactly how they should have done Jeepers Creepers. Because if they had rolled that back that same way, it it would have just been much better all the way around. This is definitely the blueprint on how you do things on when you would want to rewind the clock to show you where it started from.
this though, how that coincides with like CERN and stuff and time travel and interdimensional beings. Think about these people, man. They try to manipulate time. They try to masquerade like there's some type of god. Meanwhile, sucking the life out of what? Children. It's crazy. Let's get back into it.
Fact so.
Y'all see.
It isn't time traveling to win. It's time traveling because it already knows how to break the game. Pennywise experiences time all at once, past, present, future, which means it doesn't attack randomly. It targets ancestors, communities, bloodlines, anything that might one day produce the Losers Club or his death. This chaos is preemptive erasurism. That's exactly how hate movements work. They don't just deny present, they rewrite history to prevent resistance from ever forming. Ban books, erase lineage, destroy records, because if you control the past, you control who survives long enough to fight back. It isn't just a monster that eats kids. It's a system trying to prevent accountability, because the scariest thing to power is a future where it no longer exists.
Sounds
Dang, he hit the nail on the head, but that is true because it's all been through history. You know what I'm saying? With what they did to the Incas, the Aztec, like any civilization that was taken over by something else, it burns and gets rid of everything so that it can rewrite history. That's why they always say the story is told by the man who's alive, never by the man who died. As well as lions do the same thing. When they take over a pride, they eat all the children so that one will not come up against them, later in the years. That's that's wild, but it's in Lion King too. But that totally makes sense. But you see how people are. If they don't have book in hand and they've been so indoctrinated with those lies, they'll fight you to the death to keep that alive, even if they may know that it's a lie. It's wild. Look at the Jesus situation.
sounds like a tyrannical government to me, huh? Yeah, it's like a reference for the government, huh? Ah.
Yeah. Man, if you don't know the story about those red shoes and why they wear those red shoes and what those red shoes, the leather on them is really made out of, boy, I don't even know if you should look into it. But if you do, yeah, it's man, it's a sad rabbit hole for real. Tell me what John Bethesda, all the artwork he had in his house.
The good times they take make D-O-N-A-L-D-S, make D-O-N-A-L-D-S. The good times we take from the time.
Epstein files.
Oh my God, I never thought about that. The man with the red shoes and Tom Hanks knowing what Tom Hanks did, uh, allegedly.
There was some things said about McDonald's, bro. Jeffrey Epstein was writing an email explaining how a certain group of people, they tricked the goat into eating human flesh. The meat that's in...
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah. So McDonald's has ties to hospital. You know that, right?
Yeah,
Ronald
yeah.
McDonald Hospital. Where's the farms?
That's a good question.
They did the math. There's like the amount of burgers that McDonald's produces. There's not enough cows.
Yeah, 100%.
There's not enough cows.
Yeah.
So where does it come from?
No.
Yeah, so
Bro, they just bust that factory, that McDonald's plant, and you can look it up. And I think the gentleman who they arrested that was running it, he had a mortuary or funeral home license. So he owned a funeral home. So I mean, it's pretty wild. But I know y'all probably heard that secret audio of that Jewish guy talking about, you know, turning people into hamburgers and stuff like that and patties for McDonald's. I do not eat McDonald's. I have not eaten that stuff in many years now. And every time I come home from work late at night at like 11:30, midnight, there is literally a line of cars out there at McDonald's in the drive-thru. It's man.
Gavin.
No,
I just got it.
I'm just gonna show you a compilation of people finding weird things in their food, right?
Oh my god, this is mod.
Kimberly's.
Somebody found like a
cheeseburger.
tooth.
Went to McDonald's.
Look,
I got 2 teeth on the dash.
Mr. laughing,
Oh, hell no.
Pardon my language, but that shit ain't funny. Not even a little bit.
in The Simpsons.
Jimbo, why don't you assist lunch lady Doris in the kitchen?
My McDonald's burger. It looks like it's a 2.
No,
You guys,
no.
there's over 14,000 McDonald's in the USA. McDonald's produces over 6.5 million burgers a day to be consumed a day. A day. And McDonald's claims to go through over 7 million cows a day. So where are all the cows? Where are all the cows? Okay, I mean, we have a beef shortage here, yet they continue to consume that much in one day at McDonald's. Remember what I said, how many McDonald's there are all over this country? Almost 14,000 McDonald's in the entire continental United States.
I'm not gonna lie. I ate my first piece of meat today, but I went and bought some black oyster mushrooms and some lion's mane. I need to make those lion mane steaks tomorrow. But we've been eating mushrooms and greens and stuff from the earth for about four days now. So um it's a wild situation. The other part that's crazy about it is that that's something that you are told over and over again before, and you never really paid attention to it. Like, dang, that's a lot of meat and all that kind of stuff. Not knowing that you are eating the evidence. And there are many stories over serial killers that used to do that. They would kill a person, skin them, and they all have a history working with meat. Rather they're hunters or had a meat factory, you know, relative, or they used to work there cutting up meat, and they serve it up to the people in the county at their little barbecue. So they end up eating the evidence, and they don't find out until the dude gets caught and everything. That's a chainsaw massacre.
The illusion behind America's beef supply numbers. Is it false? Is it true? Are you
I mean, the human, they do look at like a cow, so I guess it's something. Ugh.
really eating beef at McDonald's?
I mean, we already know the answer to that. Like, look, I don't want to put the same clip in here too much about them having human meat into the meat supply. There's a certain amount of human meat that's actually in the meat supply of these restaurants, some of these restaurants. And it's a fact. It's not opinion. It's a fact. That's why the CEOs don't even want to eat the food, man. taking them little nibbles and shit. He probably
Oh yeah, the way that dude took a bite out of that burger, he didn't get no meat. That was lettuce, tomato, some onion, some bread, and sauce. He ain't touched that meat at all because he knows that was little Timmy or Jeffrey. You know, he know what's going down, man. Little Susie. That's just man, that's horrible.
did not swallow it. But, you know, some people still want to eat it, and then their excuse is it's cheaper. It's not cheap no more. It's
No,
not
it's not.
nothing is cheap anymore.
Bro, you can go to McDonald's right now and eat for two people and pay like 20 something, $24. Like you eat for what, three or four people, I think it comes to like 30 something bucks. It ain't even worth it. You know what's worth it for you? Getting off your ass on Saturdays and going to your local farmers market. That's where you're supposed to be going because those are what you're supposed to be doing. Supporting the local farmers, especially right now when they're just kicking off. You can get better deals. You know exactly what you getting. You know what I mean? You actually talking to the person face to face that's actually making stuff, growing stuff, producing it, crafting it with their own hands. It's a much better thing. I got some mead over the weekend too, and it was like gold ambrosia. It's fantastic. Go to your local farmers market. Keep it local. Stop fucking around with these corporations with a lot of this stuff because you have no idea. They don't care about poisoning you. As long as they keep making their money, they're gonna keep it moving.
Everything is expensive. Go outside, eat some grass, if anything. Don't just fuck. Don't eat no McDonald's, bro. Crazy.
Nope.
So I've told the story before. I'm going to tell it again because a lot of people just don't know about it. Plus, I have a lot of new followers. So July 28th of 2025, at the height of the Galactic War, might I add, there were 100 bodies found in the Nevada desert. Okay, they were cremated remains. So piles of cremated remains, ashes found in the desert. They were tested, they were human, okay? Now, we don't get any information until around October of 2025. And it comes out that not only did they find 100, they found 315 bodies. Cremains in the desert. The feds get involved. The feds are taking care of it, everybody. You know, you can breathe easy now, right? Right? No. Now, since the feds are involved, we heard nothing about it. Now, a lot of people, when they think cremains, cremated, you think of crematoriums, you think funeral homes. And in my opinion, not 315. Not 315 without someone's family member being like, hey, I dropped my loved one off over at this crematorium and I never got their ashes back. There would be an uproar in the community over this funeral home or this crematorium, right? They'd be out of business for lack of care, right? Dumping ashes is illegal, by the way, but of course. So December of 2025, an official comes out and says that they were able to identify 3 of these bodies. And they didn't want to comment any further because it was an active investigation, of course. Of course. You can't tell us who these 3 people were. Are they government employees? I'm just asking. Because we have a
Not gonna lie, make me wonder about all those people that keep disappearing and coming up dead about that UFO research. People that was working for the government and everything. People just keep disappearing. I don't know what's going on. This man, whatever it is, we know it ain't good.
lot of those missing. Hey, I just wanted to know. We know nothing about this investigation, and it's 315 dead people. Well, these people, no. Because if this was 300 actual bodies, this would be a mass hysteria, right? But since it was cremains, I mean, you never know. I mean, these people were probably already dead. Some people are saying it was some kind of energy weapon. I don't know. Just killed people right
Oh,
where they stood.
like what was that? War of the Worlds when Tom Cruise is running down the street and then he's running past people and they getting hit with them lasers and turn into straight powdered dust, ash. And then he finally gets back to the place and they say, "What is that on your face?" And he flips out and goes to the to the bathroom and just starts washing his face all hysterically. Excuse me. I completely understand that. I'll freak out too. Because you breathe that in, it's in your eyes and everything. Good Lord. It's just horrible.
Hey, your guess is as good as mine. All I know is they're not commenting further. We have missing whistleblowers, presumed dead. We have the right to fucking know what's going on with this investigation. And some people think, oh, when I think Nevada desert, I think mafia. No, not cremains, not cremated.
I'm sorry to tell you, if you think in desert, you should think everything. It's so far away, ain't nobody gonna hear you. You could run for miles. You'll just get tired, you know? I just take my time. Where you gonna find some water? Unless you know survival stuff, you ain't gonna survive. They just wait for you to slow down, then hit you up, cause you can scream because can't nobody hear you.
No, I think Bureau of Land Management. I think Area 51, military bases, nuclear testing sites. That's what I think of.
Another boat is coming on to the land.
I'll be honest with you, girl. You might want to you might want to get underneath some shade because I'm pretty sure you gonna burn the hell up out there. Them freckles is not gonna save you.
See the world behind vibes, huh? Everything's happening at once.
Just being bombarded with so much shit at one time. Sensory overload.
This pen is very inexpensive.
This fucking goober right here. The orange chicken nugget.
It writes well. I like it. They get what it is. I don't want to give them too much publicity, but they do tip me a whale Sharpie. So I gave me a $1,000 thanks. And then he said, I'd like to use your pen, but I can't have a gray thing with a big S on it. Say Sharpie. As I'm signing it to, he said, I'll paint it black. I said, that's nice. And I can even paint the White House on it, sir, if you...
Oh, he sound like the old man sitting at the end of at the restaurant or the bar or wherever you might be. There's usually one. Old and senile talking about stuff, and you just like, what are you talking about? Like this, and y'all people gave him power. Power. I wouldn't give him a roll of toilet paper. Like for real. Go sit in the corner somewhere and drool on yourself. You gave him power? Really? It's ridiculous.
You like? In gold. Almost real you like to pay. I said, how about $5 a pen? He said, that's all right, whatever the hell we agreed to. Peanuts. As opposed to $5, could be zero, but for $5, I get a much better pen than for $1,000. And I can hand them out. And actually, they become
Literally the worst president in history. Worst president in history. At least Bush would have still been there. George Bush, Senior. They would have at least been there. All of them would. I think all of them have been there. I think that's the only guy. Instead of doing peace talks, he was at the UFC fight, shaking hands with Joe Rogan and everything. God, I used to love that show. But that show is dog shit now.
hot as a pistol.
What are we talking about?
You know what I'm saying?
Like y'all wanna know why? I ain't gonna lie. That shit kind of triggered me just a little bit. I used to be in deployments and I used to see them bring the bodies out of the freezers. And these are people that were just like me, same age, everything, man. People that have loved ones come out in pieces and boxes. And we're going through all of this BS right now, and they want to initiate wars and stuff like that. I know what comes with it. I've seen the bodies. The air is so cold around it, man, when they bringing them bodies out of them freezers and they loading them into the planes and the ceremonies. I'm talking about hundreds. I've seen it. But we're talking about pens and Sharpies and shit. You talking about war like it's not a thing? Send your kids.
Man, you can't do that with a draft dodger. He was a draft dodger. Like that ain't even in Europe. They kids still went to war.
Don't try to send everybody else's kids. Send your kids. Because they know.
That big goofy fool, Aaron he would get taken out in no time. Like, oh now. That dude's built like a refrigerator. He moves like one too.
Oh, that their children are not going to get sent on the front lines, y'all. Real talk. It's everybody else's children. I've seen it. That's nothing to play with. And we're talking about pens and Sharpies and shit. Like, it's just diabolical.
This is like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. But it's not. That's the president.
Tucker Carlson is now trolling the enemy. And if you listen to his speech here, it looks like he's having a right go at Donald Trump.
You speak that way on Easter morning to the country. Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? Just watch. Praise be to Allah.
You helped put him in power, bro. We all knew he was a dud.
Allah. This is a mockery not just of Islam, it's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it.
But this is all optics, knowing that people are going to share this. If you listen carefully to the words that he's using and what he's actually saying.
Who are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. It is vile on every level.
Mocking. This is a mockingbird operation, and Tucker Carlson is very much connected with the CIA.
I grew up in D.C. primarily in a government family, so CIA.
So when I applied to CIA, and I've taken a lot of crap, including from Putin, like, oh, you're from a CIA family. Well, yeah, obviously my father worked in conjunction with CIA. I mean, that's what that is. And I tried to join the CIA, but I'm not being false about it.
He tried to join, but you telling me your whole family's a part and you didn't make it.
And he's attacking my dad. As a CIA, his dad's in the CIA or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I applied to CIA when I was a senior in college.
What did you want to do for the CIA?
Operations. Yeah, it was completely different organization. Well, who knows what it was, actually? I don't know.
I'm sorry to tell you, bro. Operations. I think we've seen enough CIA movies to know what a person would be doing with operations. I mean, come on. Like, really? Tucker, could you imagine Tucker Carlson coming in there with a freaking bow tie on, trying to tell you, man, come on now.
I mean, I was operating on the basis of a lot of my father's friends served as operations officers, some really wonderful guys.
It's like the good shepherd out here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess I probably shouldn't name, but who were always at our house and were just legit interesting people and smart people. But, you know, everything changed after 9/11. You worked for CIA, so I don't need to tell you.
Everything we're witnessing now is showing us a plan that was already put in place by this dirty snake, by the traffickers, by the gatekeepers, by the demon worshippers, by these people to destroy the Western world, to infiltrate within from all over. And they failed miserably when Donald Trump come in. But now, we are now being shown what they originally had set out to do.
It begins with a promise to use the U.S. military, our military, to destroy civilian infrastructure in another country, which is to say to commit a war crime, a moral crime against the people of the country, blow up their bridges that people cross every day to go to school and work and to worship, and yes, church, because there are over 1 million Christians in Iran. This is their Easter too. And power plants, civilian power plants in a country of almost 100.
I do find it kind of crazy that he keeps talking about, you know, Christians over there and everything. You don't care about the Muslims? You don't care about them? So, what do you think? You think if a Christian get blown up by a Muslim, you think anybody's gonna know the difference? It's just gonna be body parts. I mean, they're the same people. People get blown up, not religions. So I could care less if they're Christian or Muslim. If they're a man, a woman, child, like either way, that's horrible. Their religion means nothing in that aspect. Those are people. People would have been getting blown up. Not just Christians.
1 million people.
So if you hear him here saying, how dare he say this? It's a mockery to Christianity. Well, a lot of these people hide behind the religion of Christianity. This was meant to be a religious war. Islam, Christianity, playing against each other, and the people would have been panicking so much. And these people would have stepped in and saying, right, we're now going to take control. They're getting exposed at every level, but now we're going to start seeing the dark and dirty stuff that's been taken on, real evil. Listen to what he says here.
Iran is a modern country. What happens when it loses power? Well, people die. Babies connected to incubators die. People in hospitals die. It's totally unacceptable.
Babies are dying on incubators. Babies are dying in hospitals. This is when you start seeing how sick this actually is, this world. And then he says, even people that are not even signed up to this war are dying. It's immoral. It's wrong in all accounts. This is these people.
Not under the phony laws of some international body, but under moral law, God's law, killing non-combatants, people who did nothing wrong, who didn't choose this war. We're just people.
I wonder if God said anything about non-combatants. Just my murder in general. Shit's crazy.
Created by God. That is immoral. That will never be moral. That can never be justified. That is always wrong.
So think about it. In the modern world, a lot of us have been trafficked our entire life, meaning we're caught up in this war and we didn't even know we was, because it's all been planned and designed to trick every single one of God's children. And then they exploit God's children, stealing their creation, imitating. And when they get to a stage where they can't control you anymore, they do all they can to remove you. So what we're now seeing is the likes of Tucker Carlson. They're going to be a lot of other figures where we've been told they're evil, they're corrupt. They're all coming out, really exposing the darker plan, which all these gatekeepers have been hiding behind for a long time.
So think about it. What are they perpetuating to this day? Still, even in messages like that, there's underlying messages. And for the people that understand, you get it. These are messages, clear messages to perpetuate fear, a message, a warning to what is to come next. It's a part of their script. It's a part of their simulation, though, at the same time. But don't be so caught into this shit with fear. We're informational people, and that's it. We're not in this shit. You're not sending none of our kids to no damn war. None of that. I'll gladly go to prison if you try to draft me. Gladly, I'll be the first.
I am super glad that I birthed nothing but girls. um I am 43. The cutoff limit is 42, so I still dodged it. Um as well as all of my nephews, including my uh my niece's husband, all firstborn, only boys. So or only child that's a boy. So I feel they're gonna be pretty good. I feel sorry for anybody that is going to get caught up into this, who is gonna get caught up in the propaganda, who they're actually gonna try to force to go there. Because if you're in Congress or in a part of government, your kids should go first. And then, we'll see how that plays out. Because yeah, no, I'm with him. You might as well start digging your holes now. You ain't coming to get mine.
One in there for real. I take 10 years, please. Thank you. This is how they keep y'all trapped. Look at how they want to change history. Look at this shit.
That's crazy.
They change it just a little bit to keep reminding you that you're a slave to the system. No matter what, people are still going to love this shit.
What is this? What even is this?
What it is an advertisement to show you that motherfuckers are slaves and slaves in sports, most definitely. And how many black slaves there are in sport, pretty much.
In the comments to make sure me and my people are on the same page, because what even is this? Turns out that we're not, because I see somebody else that said, oh yeah, by the way, this also made me feel uncomfortable, and then somebody else said, oh yeah, by the way, those are uncomparable. And I'm like, well, by the way, there's nuance, context, and things that need to be addressed here so you understand the reason why they are both the same. Number one, the first picture, it resembles lashings. The Nike check. It resembles lashings, scars, right? But also it's a name brand branding, so to speak, because I pray that it's not real. I don't think it's real. It's a name brand branding, meaning the property of, the ownership of. You see what I'm saying? Same thing for this picture.
What other explanation is it? Let me know in the comments down below. Not too many other ones.
I'll let you know in my comment right now. It's some bullshit, is what it is. Because Why would you could never pay me enough money to brand myself and publicly show people that I'm a slave. I wouldn't be one anyway, regardless, but I definitely ain't gonna go out there and show the world that that's what I am because that's gonna be there forever. One, and for two, I want to be a slave. Like, no, I know we all are in the sense of, especially if you're in America, but at the end of the day, we trying to work to get about and work to come together and build things together so that we won't have to deal with that and our children won't have to deal with it. But what kind of asshole are you to be like, hey, go ahead and write the check. I'll do whatever because I don't know, because I'm a slave to money. No, I don't get the fuck out of my face.
Property of Louis Vuitton. Does that make sense? Because it's a name brand branding. So that first picture has a double meaning. Okay? But that does not mean that these two are uncomparable.
There are 3 companies that are being sued right now for having cancer-causing ingredients in their products. So if you're currently using any of these brands or ever have, then you could be eligible to file, and they could owe you some money. Number 1, ain't nobody surprised, is Starbucks. They're being sued for $40 million for having chemicals in their coffee. By chemicals, I'm specifically talking about VOCs, which are in paint thinners, paint removers, nail...
Man, I got a dude at my job to drink one of their drinks 2 times a day. I forgot what it is. It's like the vanilla latte or whatever. I only buy my coffee at local coffee shops anyway, where I actually get to talk to the barista and if they roast the beans locally, local house, that's even better. But shit, that motherfucker drink that shit every day, at least 2 times a day. I don't think so.
polish remover.
Plus, it tastes like shit, to be honest with you.
All that stuff. It's so disgusting. As soon as I heard this lawsuit, I just stopped drinking Starbucks completely. I might explain why the coffee always made my stomach hurt and kind of tasted like acetone. This next one is Chobani yogurt. Yeah, they found phthalates in Chobani yogurt. If you don't know what phthalates do to the body, Google it. That pretty much causes cancer. And this last one is Colgate toothpaste. This one's actually really scary. It's for the Hello Kids Colgate toothpaste. Pretty much they found a substantial amount of lead in it, and our kids are swallowing that. And I know that one's not necessarily cancer causing, but it's lead, maybe lead.
Hold up, they put lead in kids' Colgate toothpaste? Damn. You know what? Now I got to make my own toothpaste. I mean, that's the only way we got to do this.
Poisoning. Any amount of lead in the body is not great. Colgate one's really the only one that's actually active right now. So you fill out forms right now to file for the Colgate lawsuit. You can actually get $250. Starbucks and Chobani, those are still ongoing, so they're upcoming. But you can get yourself on a wait list like I did. I used this app called the Claimed app. This is where I've been keeping track of all these, and I'll let everybody know as soon as the Starbucks and the Chobani one get updated.
Since they won't arrest the billionaires in the Epstein files, let's stop making them richer. This man is Les Wexner. He is the owner of Victoria's Secrets and Bath and Body Works, and I personally decided, although I love those 2 brands, I love those 2 stores, I'm no longer going to be supporting those brands because this man photographed repeatedly with Jeffrey Epstein, had a relationship with him, is not being held accountable for anything, is pretending as though, oh, I'm just an elderly person that he took advantage of, but this is you, this is you, this is you. You knew Epstein. And so if you're shopping at Bath and Body Works and you're shopping at Victoria's Secrets, you are enriching and enlarging the pockets of one of Jeffrey Epstein's best friends.
You know how many women are going to lose their mind to find out that the dude who owns Bath and Body Works, which women love, and Victoria's Secret was friends with Jeffrey Epstein is in the files also. Not only that, Victoria's Secret. So the secret is you're a pedophile. That's the real secret. That's crazy. So who was Victoria?
And then also, if you're drinking Monster energy drinks, this man right here, Sultan Ben something 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 whatever, he's the guy in those emails that said, I love the torture video. He owns DP World. It's like a shipping company in Dubai. So I went to see who DP World's partners with. They partnered with Yamaha and Monster energy drinks. So the guy that said I love the torture videos partners with these companies. Don't drink Monster, don't buy a Yamaha until they come out and explicitly say that they're no longer working with DP World.
I literally just made a video where I was talking about the fiery pillar of light, and I was basically explaining how this pillar of light symbolized interdimensional travel, a being either entering or leaving this realm. And I came to that conclusion because Shiva, the Hindu god, first appeared from a fiery pillar of light. But I just came across this video that kind of took me down another rabbit hole, so I'm going to show you guys this video.
Let's talk about the hexagons in WandaVision. When they were used to close out the first episode's ending credits, I thought, oh, well, that's weird. Then they popped up again in episode 2, and they're all over episode 3. And then there was Bee Guy, and bees live in hives. Hives are made of hexagons, and this wallpaper looks like a beehive if you squint. Then episode 4 shows us that the field around Westview is also hexagon-shaped, meaning this reality is contained within a hexagon, just like the show itself is bookended by hexagons in the credits. Jimmy Woo is also wondering about it on his whiteboard. I don't think this show would call so much attention to this if it were a simple Easter egg. See, hexagons have 6 sides and 6 vertices and 6 angles. Pointed out that these pictures in his office are in the shape of a hexagon. Look a little closer and you'll see hexagon patterns on his rug. Now that got me thinking that maybe hexagons are actually the building blocks of the universe that hold the MCU together. Why hexagons? Well, for instance, a hive is the most efficient structure in nature. Hexagons prevent any wasted space, unlike circles, which leave gaps between them. Think about where we've seen hexagons in the MCU before. Space travel. In the Guardians movies and Avengers Endgame, ships travel using the Universal Neural Teleportation Network, or UNTN. Now, this is a network of wormholes that the characters call jump points. This network is displayed as a grid of hexagons. Presumably, since they're using wormholes, these ships are passing through the 4th dimension. Perhaps the 4th dimension is held together with a network of hexagons. Due to its connection to the Infinity Stones, these shapes could be the building blocks of the universe.
So once I got to digging, I started to notice that hexagons were literally the shape for interdimensional travel, as you can see from this clip from the Spider-Man movie. As Miles Morales is going through the interdimensional portal, it is the shape of a hexagon. So that brings me back to these light pillars. There is a phenomenon where we can see these light pillars with our observable eye, as you can see from this image above. But what's fascinating to me is that these light pillars are formed because light is reflecting off ice crystals, forming the image of a light pillar. But if you look at these light crystals that the light is reflecting off of, it is in the shape of a hexagon. And that's how these light pillars are formed. You know how I always say they hide the truth in the media? Well, what's interesting to me is that in a science fiction series called Stargate, the term Antarctic outpost describes a hexagonal structure buried under the ice that served as the last remnant of an ancient civilization. And this is what it looked like. As you can see, it has the hexagon shapes. But what really ties everything in about this show is that it's literally called Stargate, which are portals that lead to other realms. Now keep this image in mind because it is going to come back up again later. So in Antarctica, they actually have these things called hexagonal open-top chambers. So I decided to dig deep and figure out what that even was. And basically, they are environmental manipulation. They create an artificial microclimate. They increase the air temperature within the hexagon, simulating future warming scenarios. So why make them in the shape of a hexagon? Well, because certain hexagonal materials, like hexagonal boron nitride, have a layered structure that allows for very high thermal conductivity within the hexagonal plane. This is ideal for spreading heat away from a source. That part is important. Honeycomb panels are used for heat shielding. So let's say, for example, that a firmament was placed upon our realm and its purpose was to spread heat away from the internal artificial environment. That would explain why we are surrounded by an ice wall. Perhaps this firmament is made up of this hexagonal structure, spreading the heat away from the ice wall barrier. And that would make sense if we look at the movie The Hunger Games, because when Katniss shot her bow at the dome, it revealed a hexagonal structure. So the firmament could be made out of this hexagonal structure. So basically, our realm would be an artificial microclimate. And this is a visual of what that would look like. And if you were to create hundreds of these artificial microclimates, it would resemble this, which looks very similar to the other realms beyond the ice wall. Each one of them, their own artificial microclimate. meaning within each dome, it could have its own weather, its own ecosystem, its own environment, terrain. Now, when it comes to the waters above this hexagonal firmament, it wouldn't be composed of H2O as we know it. It would be composed of H3O2, which is structured water, hexagonal water. So the waters above are not ordinary water, but structured dimensional waters, the medium through which interdimensional travel occurs. So the waters above would be energetic waters, a kind of living plasma type of water. And that's why I said to remember this image, because this could be what our realm looks like from the outside of our hexagonal firmament. And if our firmament is made up of hexagons, that would explain how the light pillars or interdimensional travel is possible within this realm.
Ooh. And that's real interesting too. Like, all right, when you think about it, like I was just, I had to look over. I don't know if y'all noticed, I had to look in the other direction because I'm on my other screen, and I was looking like, damn, look up Lamborghinis. Like Lamborghinis, they have hexagons everywhere, and then their logo is the bull. That shit's interesting,
So do you guys remember when they took this creepy puppet out of the water?
and that's why they so infatuated with these damn giants in the water.
Well,
That is true. Man, he had me over here looking because there was that yes, his Dark Materials. That one definitely crack your mind open for portals and different things like that. Now I'm about to go back and watch that because I wonder is there hexagons in that one at all? Man, shout outs to Dre OG Reacts. Man.
I'm just
In spacesuits.
now finding out that there's more than one. And they're like brushing its teeth and feeding it food. The creepiest part is that they seem so real. I'm going to show you guys videos of them and let me know what you think about it because it's scary.
I'm not even gonna lie, the first time I seen those, I thought it was creepy. Now I don't like dolls. Okay. I definitely don't like puppets. They freak me out. I don't like them. Not so much that I'm be scared and run, but if one moves, I'm taking a shotgun to it straight up.
Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with their keys to the cage and the devil to.
I've never seen that. I ain't never seen this black one.
Nah, I ain't never seen that black one either. That's the first time I ever seen that.
Lay to fiddler's grave. Yes, never shall we die. Now some
Oh hell no. I definitely don't like that one. I don't like the other ones either, but I really don't like this
have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with their keys to the.
Hold up, did his eyes just roll back in his head like he could taste it, like it was tasting good? This shit is freaky.
Cage and the devil to pay. We lay to fiddler's grave.
I'm just waiting on the Chris Brown concert and September 8th need to come home.
Oh. Hold up. Is that part of my language? One of them niggalet dolls from from Tales from the Hood? 'Cause I don't yeah. Nope. Definitely no. That's a hell no.
Waiting on a Chris Brown concert. But what about that doll in your hand, lady? The eyes just moved. If you keep that around you, I don't think you're gonna make it to that concert. Stop playing with me, send these videos for entertainment purpose only. I don't know what the hell is going on in there, but she better get rid of that doll fast. Shh. Shut up! It's not a game, guys. You've seen the eyes move. That reminds me of that movie, Tales from the Hood. Remember? She's cuddling with a doll with the eyes moving. Just get a man. Stop.
Matter of fact, ain't that doll wearing the same outfit that was from the movies?
Hey, what we said is not a game out here, guys. You know what it is. Shh. Shut up. I told you about keeping those dolls around. Because now the eyes are moving. They had enough. People are saying that there's spirits going inside of these dolls, statues, things like that. And to be honest with you, that's a lie. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game.
I'll be honest with you, man. My grandma, my great grandma, her sisters they had dolls. They were into different practices that I found out much later in life. But she had these two dolls after her sisters had passed that she kept all the time with her. And the family don't know anything about these types of things, so I think they just throw them away. But it's what your family doesn't know. That's why teaching history and family is very important. But they carry dolls, and they were kind of in the life of that stuff. So yeah, man, dolls is a mofo.
Hey, guys, you know what it is. Shh. Shut up. But I tell you one thing. If I ever go to a girl's house and she has dolls laying around, and when I look at it, it rolls his eyes at me. Should have never did that, dogs.
Facts though.
Don't look at the store, look at the mannequin, because something about it is seriously off. At first, it just looks hyper realistic. The skin, the eyes, even the expression feels almost too lifelike. But then you notice a chain hooked from the top of its head straight into its mouth, dragging its body upward and forcing it into this stiff, unnatural position, like it's being held there. And somehow nobody around reacts like anything's wrong. As the camera moves closer, the uneasiness starts to build, because the closer you look, the less it feels like a mannequin and more like something pretending to be one. And then right when you think that's the worst part, the camera shifts slightly back and reveals another identical figure standing behind it. Same face, same expression, except that one isn't still, it's moving. And at that point, you realize you might not be looking at mannequins at all.
Oh my God, you guys, I had to get up just to tell you this. So I wrote my book, right? The link is in my bio. In my book, I talk to you about how people's vessels, like these bodies, can be used by other entities to, do what they want them to do. And I gave examples in the book. For example, like
That's them NPCs for y'all that don't know that.
if you make a conscious decision to do something different in this matrix, and then they will send somebody to you to basically draw you back into submission into the matrix. Well, I just saw this guy's video on TikTok where he was talking about this nanotechnology, and I didn't really cover nanotechnology in my book, but he was saying basically it's so small, like we can like swallow the shit and it's inside of us. And
Hold on now, girl. Pause now. Pause.
he's saying that this nanotechnology is like a kill switch. Like they can turn that shit on and get somebody to do what they want them to do, basically like remote control. And if that's true,
I mean, we didn't see them celebrities tweaking out. You know what I'm saying? Katy Perry, especially, her wires got crossed. Yeah, we've seen this before.
the case, that would make sense why people their vessels are used without them even knowing, without their conscious consent. Like if you make a conscious choice, hey, I'm gonna be abstinent, I don't want to have sex anymore, and then all of a sudden your crush, the person that you are specifically attracted to, hits you up out of nowhere trying to hang out and take you on a date. Yeah, it's because of that nanotechnology. They got that vessel to do that towards you, to pull you back into distracted mode. It is just crazy how the dots are connecting, and what I was saying in my book, I'm spot on, and people are just giving me confirmations. Like, this shit is scary, you guys.
If you got vaccinated, you need to watch this. He said the nanotechnology is self-replicating, which means once it goes inside your body, it creates its own self. It keeps duplicating itself and it's going to your brain. This was all a part of the plan, people. They're going to control your mind, and they probably already are through satellites. It's technology. They always tell us through movies what's going to happen. Check this out.
I get the symbolism on this movie, but this was the dumbest way to show it. This was the dumbest movie with the cell phone like possessing you type stuff. One hell of a twist. But yeah, I get the symbolism. I didn't take no vaccine.
Everybody that got this is connected to a server, a cloud, and everybody is going to be controlled mentally. And this is why they forced everybody to get it. They threatened your job. They told you that you were going to lose this. You people need to be detoxed. And if you didn't get it, make sure you're not sleeping with people who got vaccinated, because you're going to take on their blood and that nanotechnology that's in their bloodstream. Holy fuck.
I'll be honest with you. Check out Dre OG Reacts. I'm definitely gonna leave a link to this video in my description. Will definitely say that I'm back on here. I have to get my my mental back into doing this and uploading and being out here, because I took a little hiatus for some months, going through some things and just working to be better every day. And yeah, no, I definitely can see his point. Like, I had a lot of time to think and work things out with how things are. There are people, things, products, companies. I don't support them, and if I'm not going to support them, then that's just what it's going to be. And let the chips fall where they may. So check out Dre OG Reacts. You're gonna get some more videos from me. We're gonna keep it rolling. I love this, the vibe that he gives and the information. So I'm learning something, you learning something, we having conversation in between, but we know what time we are in right now. And if you don't know, then tap somebody beside you and get caught up, because this is just where we are. So I'll definitely catch you out on the next one. Give me a like, subscribe, a comment, dislike. If you got something negative to say, I don't care either way. Just as long as you let me know that you paying attention. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.